Hey everyone, I'm Tanisha and this is my channel, The Monarch Witch. I'm here to help expose the tactics of the powers that were and awaken you all to your spiritual gifts. So I'd love to have you join me on this transformational journey. By the end of this video, I hope to help you be able to use your discernment and intuition to determine what is truth in this world and what is deception. And I'll do this by specifically talking about false light teachings, what I believe the false light is, and as well as using our intuition and our discernment, logic does actually come into it as well, because of the fact that that is all supposed to work together for us. So I believe that our spirit, our higher self, is meant to be leading the way, and our intuition is meant to be leading the way, but our logic and our brain is a tool that our higher self, our spirit, our intuition uses. So to start this off, I'm going to talk about Jesus Christ. And I did a video a while back which was speaking about basically the deception of the rapture and how being stuck within old religious beliefs can keep us stuck in a past timeline. And I talked about Christ and what I believed he is supposed to represent in that video, and what Christ is supposed to represent from both what I've looked into as well as my intuition, my discernment, is love. Love of self, love of others, love of God. And love of God automatically extends into love of self and others, because as you'll probably know, we are each a piece of God having an individual experience. So at the moment, what's happening on a worldwide scale, and what I'm seeing a lot of, is a lot of people having visions of Jesus Christ, whether that be out-of-body experiences, dream time, near-death experiences, or just visions. It's happening on a worldwide scale, right? So if you were to look at just what you're seeing, a lot of people have come to believe, that Jesus Christ is the only truth, the only way to God, the only thing to follow, and everybody else is going to hell because of these visions that they've been seeing. And if you just look at what's being seen with our eyes, then that makes a lot of sense. But what I want you to learn using your discernment is to actually look with all of your senses. And I want you specifically to focus not just on what's being seen, but by what it's causing to happen. So by what is being shown to you, what is that causing to happen? So when I looked with all of my senses, even though I was seeing this is what I was seeing, when I went deeper into my intuition and my soul self, something felt off. Something didn't feel right. Because if Jesus Christ is about love, then I don't feel this is the message he would want to spread. And why I don't feel this is the message he'd like to spread is because this message causes hatred and division amongst people. So remember I said we're not just looking at what we're seeing, we're also looking at what's being caused. And I have come to understand on my own journey, my own evolution, transformation, and what is channeled to me by my guides, as well as using my discernment when channeling, I have come to know that anything that causes hatred, division, fear is not of God, and is a deception. And so when using even your logic, you see that anything that says it's the only way and everything else is wrong, as a byproduct of that, division is caused amongst everyone. So what you have to understand when dealing with the powers that were is the fact that they're smart, okay? They're not just going to show you their hand. Like in a game of poker, you're going to bluff. You're going to want the other person to think something different to what's actually the truth, okay? You're not just going to show them what you have in your hand. You're not just going to reveal it. You have to understand that the powers that were work the same way. So what we are seeing is not always the truth. And if we are to use our logic again, you can see this with cults. All of the power is going away to the leader because people in the cult are blindly following what the leader says is the truth. The leader may even be able to show them that it's the truth. But the point I'm trying to make here is they stop looking within themselves and seeing, even though this seems like it's the truth, is it causing something good or is it causing something bad? Is it causing love in my life or is it causing hatred and division? Is it causing me to be a more empowered version of myself or is it causing me to give my power away? As well as division being caused, it also causes you to stop going within, to stop trusting in yourself, to stop believing and knowing your power, and to hand it away to someone else. So the other thing that causes confusion and division with Jesus Christ as well is how many different versions of him there are. You know, so there's different beliefs about his race. There's different beliefs about where he come from. There's different beliefs about what he represents. There's different beliefs about whether he is God in human form or whether he was just a messenger of God. There's different beliefs about whether he, was ended on the cross, whether that actually happened or not. There's different beliefs as to why that happened. What's another different beliefs? There's even evidence that's come out from different translations that suggest he could have been harming children. There's all these different beliefs about one person. So what's the true version of this person? Because all of these different beliefs, once again, are causing confusion and division. And so the only two conclusions that I've been able to come to from this confusion is that A, there's either actually multiple different versions of Jesus Christ, or B, there is one true version and a version that's been projected onto us to cause more hatred, division and fear, which would be a false light version. And so what I'm going to ask you is, what if both could be true? And so to understand that both could be true, we need to understand that there are multiple different versions of you and me. There are multiple different versions of deities, of earths, of worlds. And this is, slowly being proven by science as well. And so the spirit is multifaceted. It's not just one being. And how that works is because there's a piece of the spirit of God in each of us that is in tune to this individual experience. But this piece is also connected to the overall collective. So the whole God as well outside of us. And so this piece can tune into all the different versions, right? So it can tune into all the different versions of ourselves. So even though we may be living this one individual experience, we've had multiple past lives, there's different versions of us now that we can tap into, and so you understand that there can be multiple versions of you, and the multiple versions can be at lower levels of consciousness and higher levels of consciousness as well. So, what I believe is happening with Jesus Christ and other false light beings is that we are being tapped into a lower level consciousness version of this being. And this will depend on what level of consciousness of ourselves we are tuning into as well. And remember that the powers that were, they do try to keep us in a lower level reality, a lower level consciousness as well. And so that's how I've learned to determine what is a false light being. And if I'm dealing with a false light being, even when I'm channeling, because I try and look at, is this, even though it may on the outside appear to be about love, is it causing hatred, division, and fear? Is it trying to keep me in a lower level consciousness? Also, to be kept at a lower level consciousness is to never question anything. So the other point that I want to bring forward to learn the deeper truths of these situations and of how the powers that were work is to always be questioning everything. Question everything around you, not just everything around you, question your own beliefs, which if you I'm sorry about that, I had a frog in my throat. But if you look at my channel, you'll see I've done that throughout my entire life. You know, there's been certain beliefs that I've been wanting to completely stick to, but I've ended up questioning them. And then when I've questioned them, even though it's been a hard period while I've been questioning them and breaking down those beliefs within myself, in the end, it's led to me learning more about myself, about others, and about the world around me, and evolving in consciousness. And so that's also led me to know that I can't possibly know all the truths. I can't possibly know everything. There is always more to learn. And anything, in my opinion, that says that it is the complete truth and the only truth, to me that keeps us in a lower level consciousness, because we're not going to question it. We're not going to try to learn more. And you know, that is the whole purpose of everything, is learning more, evolving more. You can even see that if you again use your logic by looking outside of us, by the way that animals evolve. And so when I channel with my spirit team, when I get downloads and messages from them, I question them. I don't just take what is downloaded to me at face value and do a video straight away about it before I've questioned it and used my own discernment and tried to understand, is this coming from a lower level of consciousness or a higher level of consciousness? And is it going to benefit people, or is it going to cause, you know, division, hatred, and fear instead? So to not get fooled by the false light, you look within, you use your discernment, your intuition. Don't just take what you see at face value and question yourself and question your guides, question the world around you. The more that we question and realize that we don't know everything, the more we learn. And so understand, when you are channeling with your guides, your spirit team, that there are different versions of them. And there are different levels of consciousness. Sorry, anemones. That's like trying to say that. There are different levels of consciousness of one being. Okay, and I've had this happen to me where something's been channeled through to me from my spirit guide Sophia, and it's kind of like contradicting what she's previously told me. And then I will question it, because I'll be like, well, this doesn't seem like the same Sophia I've been talking to. And so it's a different version of her, you know, a different consciousness. And so by extension, you know, if we're being told to just ignore, turn the other cheek to what the powers that were are doing to the world, that is causing a mass scale of suffering, then you can see the deception there as well. where it's like everything's love and light, and don't look at what they're doing and don't do anything about it. Because when you understand the higher level consciousness of darkness, right? See, there's a lower level consciousness of light, a higher level consciousness of light, a lower level consciousness of darkness, and a higher level consciousness of darkness as well. The higher level consciousness of darkness can be transformed into something positive. So, for example, anger, if transformed and directed in a positive way, can actually cause us to want to make positive change in the world by not standing for things that are causing others to suffer. And so another way that I've come to recognize false light or lower level consciousness is that it will tell you to ignore the darkness. It will tell you to ignore the darker energy. So, you know, if you've been hurt by someone and you've got anger in you, it will tell you, just forgive the person. Just forgive the person and love them. And, you know, then many people have gotten into a trap of allowing themselves to continuously be treated poorly and hurt by another because they believe they have to love and forgive no matter what. So, you know, although they are acting out of love, and it's not coming from a place of hatred, division, or fear, it is actually causing their own suffering. And so that's another word that I should have added to the equation is, does it cause you to suffer? But if we're coming from a lower level consciousness of darkness, anger can also be used to harm others, even people that don't deserve it, because we may be holding on to anger from a completely different person and we haven't released it or transformed it. So then we go around just projecting that hatred and that anger onto other people. You can say the same with light. So light at a lower level of consciousness can actually become ignorance, because, you know, you're just believing everything is light and love, and you don't want to believe any of the evil that's going on in the world. Or it can actually lead you from an ego point of view to think you're better than others because you're all about love and light. It can get you stuck in a victim mentality. You know, at a higher level of consciousness, it can cause love between people when they can work together and they can create beautiful things. You see what I'm saying? There's basically a positive and a negative to both forces. So the false light is essentially just a lower level consciousness and a negative side of light. So that again leads back to the different versions of Jesus Christ, the different versions of God, the different versions of other deities. You have lower level consciousness and higher level consciousness of both forces within these beings, okay? And different versions of them. And I do apologize, it can be hard to wrap your head around. Sometimes when I'm downloading and channeling, I feel like my brain is going to be fried because, like I said, we're very tuned into our individual experience and our individual truth. But what's actually really interesting is we have to go through these lower levels of consciousness to learn and evolve and get to the higher level of consciousness. So essentially the lower level of consciousness is all about just our individual experience, our individual truth, and the one piece of God within us. And the higher level consciousness is when we come to the understanding of the collective consciousness and that we are more than just this experience. And so lower level consciousness is needed. But what's happening with the powers that were is they're in lower level consciousness themselves and they're wanting to keep everybody else stuck in it. You know, so you've got a choice there, because there is free will as well. You've got a choice whether you want to be stuck in that lower level of consciousness or go to a higher level of consciousness. One is not better than the other. Remember what I said, you have to go through one to get to the other. So if you need to be doing more learning from a lower level of consciousness, then that's what your truth is going to be. But I do believe more and more of us are breaking out of this and coming into this higher level of consciousness, this understanding of being connected, this understanding that there's so much more than just this individual experience. A lot of us are coming to that understanding because we, from a logical point of view as well, know that that's what's going to be better for the world. Because if we understand our connectedness, and we understand that we harm one, it comes back around to another, and you know, it just keeps creating that cycle going. If we understand that from a logical point of view, then we understand that knowing that we're connected means that we're not going to want to harm each other anymore, and so a byproduct of that is less suffering on the planet. You also have to realize that the powers that were, they are actually benefiting from keeping us stuck in a lower level of consciousness as well, because we're constantly giving our power over to them. The lower level consciousness deities and versions of God and Jesus Christ are also benefiting because we're giving over our power to them. And like I said, there is free will. But even though there is free will, we are all connected. So the more of us that decide that we want to go into a higher level of consciousness, we want to learn from the lower level and help that move us towards a higher level, the more of us that decide to do that, then the more people that are choosing the lower level of consciousness actually start to stop choosing that and move towards the higher level of consciousness as well. Because although we have free will, we are still all connected. And so I've said in a few of my videos, what plays out in even just like 1% of consciousness will play out in all of us eventually. So it's like we have free will individually, but sort of collectively we're connected. So what I really want you to take from this video is, you know, don't even believe everything I'm saying. Question everything I'm saying. What I want you to take from this video is to look deep within yourself. Use all of your senses. Don't just take what you're seeing at face value. And question everything so that you can learn and move towards a higher level of consciousness and learn how to easily use your discernment as well, especially if you are a channeler with spirit guides as well. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. If you would like to continue to go on this transformational journey with me, then please like, share and subscribe if that's what you feel resonates with you. Thanks. Bye.